Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we will be taking a look at my setup for April. I set this one up quite in advance. It was barely the beginning of March when I set this one up. The last weekend of February is when I worked on this, and it took maybe the entire weekend, and I did not film it because I was feeling a little burnt out artistically, but also from life in general, and I wanted an activity that's gonna be productive, but also where I can do something mindless for an hour or so each day and just relax and disconnect and basically do something that's not gonna require thinking, if that makes sense. And so that ended up being my setup for April, and I'm doing hot air balloons. It was one of the themes that my friend chose, and yes, I'm still doing the themes she chose just because I genuinely want to do them. I've been wanting to do hot air balloons for a while, but my issue is every time I've seen an iteration or a version of that theme, it's always been so colorful. And despite leaning into colors more and more with every setup, I'm not truly a colorful person. So I struggled to find something that's gonna fit my style. I actually ended up going with a style that I haven't done in a while, and I love that. I really enjoyed setting it up, and I enjoyed how it looks, and it is quite minimal, if I do say so. I used 2 fine liners and 2 brush pens, and that's it. So let's open my notebook and take a look. Alrighty, so which one does... Okay, this is the cover page. Let me put this bookmark away. So I'll put on the screen the images that really inspired this theme. At first I was gonna go in a completely different direction. I was going to do something inspired by paper art and layering and such, but do it with markers, and I was actually gonna use my acrylic brush pens because I would have varying shades of each color, so I could do different shades and shadows and such, and do like some sort of optical illusion, if you will. But that is not what I ended up doing because I wanted a different color scheme. I didn't necessarily want pink again, and I didn't want to do green either, and it was just a struggle to pick a color. I ended up going with something muted and brown. So let me grab the 2 brush pens that I used. The first one is the N89 from Tombow, and I used this for the clouds. This is a really pale, warm gray color, and I love it. I don't get to use it much, but I really like it. And then I found in my collection this brush pen from a set of 48 markers that I got from a local store ages and ages ago. On occasion, I get to use a marker from there, and I'm always happy when that occasion comes. So I ended up choosing this one, which you would think is light based on the color of the barrel, but it's actually a really nice brown. I'm gonna flip to the pen testing page that I have at the back. As you can see, I've swatched a lot of browns and grays, but this is the one that I use, as well as the N89. So let me swatch this one also, just to have them side by side. And this one is definitely gray, but a warm beigey gray. So these are the colors I chose for this entire theme. Let's go back. Clouds aren't something that I know how to draw well, but I found the reference images and I really liked how layered and packed the clouds are. I liked the style of the clouds even more than the hot air balloons, so I was a really big fan. And then I saw some matching illustrations and it just all came together in my head, so I decided to just go ahead with it. So I traced the basic shapes in and then used my Micron, my Pigma Microns. I used the 02 and 01. I really like the 01, but I think the nib it has sunken in. It doesn't really write well. I need to hold it exactly like this, completely vertical, in order for it to write. I can't write at an angle. I don't know if it's something that I did with the pen, but I'm disappointed because this is a relatively new pen. I got it back in November maybe, and I've had a pen of this same description and size from another set from Unipen, and that one lasted me years. So I'm quite disappointed, and I'm just gonna use them because I have them, but I'll probably buy something else, especially in the smaller size. And I'm already disappointed by the small size because I need them to go smaller. So yeah, I used this one for the details and the cross hatching and the scribbling shadows and such, but then for the outlines and the outlining of the boxes and such, I used the 02. And then I decided on a whim to do some bouncy calligraphy with the brush pen, with the colored brush pen rather than a black one, and then also do some sort of ombre where the colors are darker at the top. So I just used the singular marker, but went on it a couple of more times on the top sections of each letter, and then also used the fine liner to add some sort of drop shadow. I don't understand drop shadows on letters well, so I put it on all of the downstrokes. I'll show you up close what I mean if it's visible. But yeah, I spent a night on this and it was really therapeutic and a lot of fun, and I really liked how it looked. Next is my calendar spread. So I had a different idea in mind. I thought I was gonna have clouds all over, behind, and in between the boxes. That's why I went with singular boxes, but I ended up not wanting to do that anymore. So I did this illustration after mapping out where I wanted the boxes to be, size-wise and such. And I love how this illustration looks. I really like it. And this is how I pictured my calendar spread in my head. So I'm really happy with it. I ended up using the N90, what color is it? The N89 to do a swatch of color, I guess, or a highlight on the top of each box for each day of the month, and used that to write the number. And then again used the same style of bouncy calligraphy that has some sort of an ombre effect. And I went with this without a clear plan, to be honest. I just had the illustrations sketched in and then took it from there. But that meant that I tried things and I liked some and implemented them on the other spreads and hated some. So what happened is I thought that it would look nicer if I did a complete outline of the letters, and I hated that. But I have no way of fixing it, so Sunday is gonna look ugly for the rest of its days. But yeah, I could cut a piece of paper, glue it here, and redo the lettering, but I don't want to do that. I've done that enough in this setup. And these boxes are 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna count the dots because I don't know how bullet journalers count the dots. Do you count the ones inside the box or also the one that has the outline going through it? So in this case, would it be 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots? You let me know in the comments so that I can start giving dot measurements when I do the spreads, because I don't understand it and I haven't found a clear reference yet. So I've been using centimeters thus far. But yes, I just left a dot in between. Or do you count spaces? So is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces? That is why I don't like working in a dot journal. It's unnecessarily confusing. Anyway, next we have my dashboard, And originally I thought that I was gonna go with dashed lines, but again, I completely forgot about that, so I didn't implement it when I was working. And then I was also not supposed to outline this side of the box, leave it open, because that's what I did on other spreads. But again, I decided on that after setting this spread up, so no way to fix it. And I have enough of a mishap here. I didn't leave enough space to write freelance on top of the box, and I tried to use my trusty white paint pen from Art Walker that I love using so very much, but using any type of brush pen on top of this does not work, I think. So I couldn't use it. It didn't it would have been very, very obvious that there's a line going through the word. So I cut a piece of paper and glued it in, and then re-outlined the box and wrote the word on top of it. And yeah, I don't like how obvious it is, but I also will deal with it because there is nothing I can do about it. And I just did this hot air balloon that is like flying at an angle. I'll put the image on the screen. It was a postcard, I think, but I thought it was really cute. And I really, really like how I did the shading and such. Very beautiful. I thought about adding second line highlights, but I like to vary my themes a little bit month to month, even if I use repeated elements and the same spreads and such. So I used second line highlights in the previous month, so I will not do that now. Although I also don't like to have a pattern. So in January, I did the second line highlights, not in February, again in March, and then not again in April. I don't like that pattern because I don't like patterning, if that makes sense. So yeah, I might have to break that pattern next month. Then we get to my weekly log. Here's also another thing that I did differently. First, I added dots with the felt nib of the Tombow, that small nib. Don't know why I did that. It looks nice, but I haven't done it on this side yet. I forgot. And then I decided to do the lettering to be a part of the box rather than on top of it or inside it, if that makes sense. And so that's why I regretted not thinking through my theme, because I didn't do that here. So there are some inconsistencies, maybe minor ones, but worth mentioning nonetheless. April has 5 weeks, so I just did 5 weeks on a Dutch door so that I can see the beauty of this spread wherever I am in the month. And then I just have 6 sections, a slightly larger one for the weekend with a joint header, so WKD, and then the first 3 initials of each day, doing that bouncy lettering with the brush pen and also the ombre. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have on this side, that's why I left the top line blank, so when I decide to put the header, I'll do it in the same style as the weeklies. I'll put the image that inspired this setup, or not this setup, this spread on the screen. It was actually a really beautiful, maybe poster or some type of art. It was stunning, and I had half a mind of just recreating that for my cover page. It had mountains, and I didn't really want to do mountains. I'm a little sick of them, to be completely honest. Done them a few times. I'm done with them. I wanted something different, and I didn't want to do mountains, basically. So I decided to take the orientation and the sizing and the style of the hot air balloons, but then use some images of clouds that I really liked the style of, and also the style of clouds in the previous illustrations. So just orienting them differently. And I think what made this look very, very neat and beautiful is I put some clouds behind the hot air balloons, but then sometimes put them in front, and that gave it a lot of dimension and artistic flair, I guess. And so I really, really, really like it. As you can see, we have mishaps. I was using a ruler, and still my lines got a little wonky at some points. Lastly is my April's monthly review. So as you can see, it is blank. I haven't yet decided what I wanted my monthly review sections to be. They will probably be the same ones, and in that case I'm gonna orient them on this page with the bouncy lettering using that brush pen, and then put some boxes around them and such. And this side will be for my reading summary, but I haven't even put the header yet because I'm not really sure how I want to go about it. It's still very early in March when I'm filming this. So yeah, but I love this. I really like this. And actually I found some more awesome illustrations of clouds and their positioning and such. I low-key regretted not finding that sooner because I probably would have had it as a full cover page design. And yeah, I'm still happy, really happy with how this theme turned out. I haven't gone this simple and minimal in a while. As you can tell by my previous themes this year, I've gone all out every single month. So it was nice to tone it down a bit and just use minimal supplies and a lot of detail rather than color and elaborate layouts and elaborate art and such. So very simple but very effective, and it was a lot of fun and really calming to do. So I'm really happy with it. So this is it all at once, even though it is part incomplete. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this theme, and leave some hot air balloon related emoji if you got to this point. Also, stay tuned for the setup in Project B. It will be another cherry blossom theme, spoiler alert, but it will be a lot of fun seeing that flower on different paper types and paper colors. That is the beauty of Project B, honestly. And I had a lot of fun doing that theme, so I hope you like it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.